I traveled abroad one time before I was sponsored, and it was like stressful coming home and seeing the credit card bill, and you're like, oh my God, we have to pay for that now, you know?
I got the shots of the corner. I think here is
I don't even know that you can put a value on it. It's invaluable to be able to have these experiences and do what I do. Sit like this, hold my glass in my hand. I started as just an average runner. I mean, maybe not average. I was on a college team. I spent 4 years, 5 years working my butt off. And then after college, I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna become a sponsored athlete, like no question. But it was a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be.
How would you summarize the camp?
It's been a lot better than last year. That's like the main thing. Not that last year was bad, it was just, it was our first time, and so like I think that planning it was probably pretty hard, and we were doing like 4 to 6 mile runs where we were stopping like every, so often to take pictures and stuff, which is not ideal when you're trying to train. I complain because I'm like, oh, I'm on an island, I didn't get to run enough. You're on an island, shut up. Some of my friends don't ever leave the country really because they have jobs and kids and stuff, and I am traveling 2 to 3 times a year to go to France or Spain or whatever, and I'd never get to do that if I wasn't a sponsored athlete. I think unfortunately, at least in trail running, a lot of it is about who you know. I just got really lucky that Tessa Chesser suggested me to Craft when she was like being recruited by them. Today's the first day though that we've gotten to like sit by the pool and kind of chill out. So we're out here getting sunburned. That was so sad. That was the smallest splash I've ever seen, dude. No. I feel like he went in like his legs were too spread apart. You got to be like, I don't know, more of a cannonball, less of a, Was it as big as it felt? Did I get you guys? I was surprised that everybody came out to the pool today because Ida and I have been doing that, but Mimi's out here, Laney's out here, Tim's out here, even though he's hiding in the shade, and Arlen's out there just not wearing sunscreen. We love Arlen, but yeah, I'm trying to like look relatively good when I'm like 40 or 50 years old, so I'm at least gonna put sunscreen on my face. The first run absolutely murdered me.
Hello.
Well, it was beautiful until we got to the top, and then it was like so windy that I tried to take a video and almost lost my phone.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good.
Still, there are athletes out there that are like really good that aren't sponsored because they just don't know the right people, and it's such a privilege. Like, I'm such a lucky human being. Obviously, I worked really hard to like get here.
Tim lied to me. He told me it was gonna be like 6,000 feet. I'm at like almost 7,500.
It's been nice to just hang out. Like, I learned so much about Laney this week that I didn't know. That dude has been running ultras for years. It's crazy. I didn't know that Laney had a wife. And I learned this week that he's been married for 5 years. So, there's that. He also has a dog. Didn't know that. He's not like me where he posts pictures of his dog every like 4 hours on Instagram. I coached at the University of Nevada in Reno, but being a collegiate coach in the US is like more than a full-time job. My husband could see that I was not enjoying myself at all anymore at the collegiate level because it was very stressful, and So when I got like money in my contract, I told him, I was like, I feel like I have this big opportunity to like, they're paying me to travel the world and I can't do it because I don't have time. And he was like, yeah, you gotta go for it.
Crazy out here.
Yeah,
Blown off the ridge.
it's insane. Wait until you come up.
Oh, I'm hurt.
That first year was difficult because it was like, I had just started online coaching, but it wasn't like enough to where it was like, oh, I'm making like money. And I would say last year was finally a point where it was like, okay, I'm making more money than I was making coaching, so we're not worried anymore. Today we sent it up this climb that was probably like 600 meters, 700 meters or so, and like classic college cross-country boy bullshit. Tim and Laney just take off, and I kept up with them for a while. Ida was there. She's like hammering, and I'm just like, I jog most of my training. I'm not necessarily slower than them comparatively, but like my training is much slower than theirs. We were running like 6:30 pace, and I was just like, well, I guess I'm doing a workout today. Sounds good. But then we started going downhill, and they were so gone, and I was just like, nope, this is not for me. Like I was still running like 6-minute pace down the hill and just like totally lost them. But then I had to stop and take a poop, so there was that too. So then I was like 2 minutes behind or whatever.
Like, I love this. It's fun not to be going slow.
You're doing some extra work.
Congrats, Tim,
For what?
for the on the win.
Oh, no.
David, who knows?
No one won that.
MK stopped the tire shoe and she's like, this is the race I never signed up for.
No, we just let gravity take us.
Yeah, for sure.
It's,
Me too.
And I was like, oh, this is my last chance to do downhill, and then I started to chase you.
no, you rolled us up.
That was fun. That was the.
It's just
that
such a
was-
smooth downhill, like, so nice.
Yeah, but then I had to stop and poop. Because I was like, oh my God, we're running so much downhill, I have to stop right
You don't
now.
have time to do that.
I didn't, yeah. I was like, so I had to stop and poop at some point.
She poops as fast as I pee. It was a
It was pretty quick.
perfect deal.
I'm very into low and slow. Keep it as easy as possible, and then you can hit the workout days and the races as hard as you can. I run anywhere from 70 to 100 miles a week. My average is probably 80, 85. But it was still a great run. Like, we ended up doing like 30K, and it's a great day. The goal is to win anytime I line up on the start line. I had a stellar first half of the season, made the US team, finished 9th in the world, and then I went into OCC having no doubt that it was going to be like this big American sweep. Yeah, these, I need somebody to hand these to me at the finish line so I can finish in these. I love these. They're so great. I'd race in them, but I think I would fall. Honestly, I felt like pretty good all the way up to Champs-Lac, which was our first aid station. On the climb after Champs-Lac, I started to feel like really fatigued. People, like women, just kept flying by me, and I was like, I feel really bad. I would try to run and I couldn't run, and so I would hike, and like as I was hiking I would just get slower and slower and slower until I was walking. And when I got to Trient, which was like about 11 miles in, I was like crying because I could like barely run it. And people were like cheering for me and saying my name, and I was just feeling so bad, so I just started crying, and I was like, it's okay, like we got one more like big climb, like you did this in a workout last week. You can run up this, and I didn't run a single step of it. Mile 15, maybe 16. Like there's no way that I can make a whole nother one of what I've just did.
Yeah, I got to Col de Balme, and I actually, like, the first person I saw was this guy that I met on the bus on the way here. And he was like, "Great job, Emkay." And I just started like bawling my eyes out because I was just like, I'm not gonna go any further. I mean, I just put so much work into this race. This is like probably the longest I've trained for something like without racing and having to taper in the middle, and I was running like 90 plus miles a week for a long time and feeling good doing it. And yeah, you just put so many eggs in a basket and then they all break and it's like, oh, fuck. Where do I go from here? Just lots of crying, you know? Yeah, because everybody keeps giving me hugs and telling me that I'm important. I don't want to feel important right now. And everybody's telling me like, you're important, you matter, it's just one race. And it's a reminder that nobody cares. Everybody still loves you.
I was definitely a gamble for craft because I didn't really have many trail results. I was pretty good at the roads and the track, but who knows how that's gonna translate. I had nobody looking at me, but you can't put too much pressure on it either. If you're running races to try to get sponsored, it's probably not gonna go very well, but you still wanna put yourself out there and put yourself in races where you're gonna be seen, where you know that you're gonna have success, but people also care. That sounds terrible, but like, you know, there's races where if you're winning, like people don't give a shit. There are races where you could get third and people are like, oh my gosh, that person is so good. So just be patient, like put yourself in the right situations where you're visible, get good at social media, because that is like that's where the money is for sure.
The sky is so pretty right now. I wonder if your pretty eyes see it.
Even if you've been a sponsored athlete for 10 years, that's cool to be able to have these experiences.
And I need to get out.